Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Brian. Shoot, I forgot the order already. I'm Brian.
You did great. I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus. Welcome back, everyone. It's we're back from the holiday break. Everyone's rested,
We're
relaxed.
back from the dead.
Ready to podcast back to life.
That's what it's called. That's what the RT podcast is going to be called in 2021. RT podcast back to life.
Back to life. No more, no bullshit.
Chicken McNuggets. No more bullshit.
Back to basics.
So, you know, I bitch about this every year. I'm going to bitch about it again.
Squirrels.
No, one of my neighbors launches fireworks, which is whatever. But they were still launching them last night, like at 12:30 in the morning. I'm laying in bed.
I had that
get woken
too.
up because I hear fireworks.
Yep.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing that you bought this many fireworks that you still have them, and you could have launched them at any time earlier in the evening. I didn't hear any all night until I'm lying in bed at 12:30 in the morning and the fucking fireworks go off. But I will say this. So I've been having to listen to this for several years now, like always 4th of July and the week before and the week after and New Year's Eve and the week before and week after, these people like launching fireworks. So I'm laying in bed last night. I hear the fireworks go off. I open my eyes like, fuck, here we go again. It was like at 12:30 on the dot. And then like at 12:31, they start launching more. And I'm looking at my ceiling. And as I'm staring at my ceiling, I see red and blue flashing lights. And I hear the chirp of a police car.
Karma. Oh my God.
I think there must have, like, normally the police never come out if you call for a fireworks order. They must have just been driving down the road and thought, what kind of asshole launches fireworks at 12:30 in the morning? They probably just like chirp their lights at them to make them stop.
Wait, and what night did you say this was?
This was last night.
Oh, okay. Because at first I thought you were talking about New Year's Eve, and I was like, well, yeah, they're going to launch them at 12:30 because New Year's is at midnight, and they're just going to keep going.
No, this was last night, January 3rd, or the morning of January 4th.
Yeah,
Look, the guy's really excited that 2020 is over. Let him be happy.
Maybe.
That's too many days after, though. You're right. That's like leaving your Christmas tree up in April. That's just too. You've waited 3 nights. No, like the second. Okay, maybe.
January 4th is the April of fireworks.
That's right. It's got a shorter.
It's like human years versus dog years. Like there's such a weird discrepancy between the two.
Exactly.
They actually started launching them on Christmas Eve, December 24th. So I had a solid 10 days of fireworks so far. So I'm hoping that last night was it, that they're done with the fireworks until the end of June.
Do you know the guy?
No, I never know exactly where it is. Like if I look out my window, I can see the direction it's in, but it's not like on my street. It's like maybe the street behind that. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get in my car and go out there and look for them. There's no point in doing that, but it's like, it's somewhere back behind my house. I don't know where, but it looks cool. On New Year's Eve, I was like, yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Have you? Yeah. Can you see fireworks in your neighborhood? Like we stepped outside right at midnight and stepped outside. It was like the fall of Baghdad or something. It was like everywhere I looked, just it was cool though. It was like a free 3-minute show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly expected there to be a lot of people lighting fireworks in their own neighborhoods because of the pandemic. Of course, people aren't going to like a location to all watch it together. So I thought there would be like a lot more neighborhood fireworks than there were. Surprise.
Yeah. I mean, I think I probably thought the same thing as well. You know, was there even, if the city didn't launch any fireworks, right? Even if you couldn't go, there was no like official fireworks display.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I assume they didn't want to bring a load of people together.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had we bought some, and my favorite was called the Naughty Dog. And it was a hunched over dog, like looking like it was about to take a shit. And the fuse was right in his ass. And so you light it and it made a few sparks, but the real sort of star of the show was this ash just came out of its bottom. So it just looked like it was just taking a giant shit.
Oh, so it didn't go anywhere.
No, it didn't move. It literally just had ash coming out of its ass for like 30 seconds.
I'm watching a YouTube video of one right now.
Yeah.
That's a bad dog. It just shit all over that rock.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what you think it would be. Yeah.
I feel like launching fireworks from the ground is a waste because not as many people can see them. If you launch them down at Earth from space, I think more people would be able to see them and you'd get more bang for your buck.
It's like the theory behind detonating nuclear weapons in the air, like doing air bursts above a city, as opposed to having it explode on the ground.
Yeah, more people get affected.
So are you trying to say that someone should fly up into the air and launch fireworks from the sky?
Yeah, straight down.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be really cheap to do and very possible. How would they do that? Like, would you like get a skydiver to go up there and like as he's jumping, like 3, 2, 1?
You just have a plane go up like 40,000 feet and drop just one ginormous firework, and then multiple cities will be able to see it.
But you
And
can't
probably
take
be lit
matches
on
on a
fire.
plane.
Badgers.
Why would they be lit on fire? It's not going to land on the ground. I mean, it will, but not lit. It'll be dispersed and go out.
They did that one time. I remember as a kid. They did something similar to that. Do you not remember? It was called the Challenger, and everybody saw it. And it was,
the more drones, the better.
They should just get Elon Musk to send up one of his rockets because it's going to blow up at some point. Just pack it with fireworks when it comes back down. They never land accurately.
I don't think they launch them at night, though.
Well, true.
It would be a waste.
Yeah.
Well, so the
usually, like,
rocket
early
can see
morning, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
Well, they can do a lot nighttime launch. I mean, space is dark. They don't need daylight to
exactly
to take off.
exactly.
I like how the weather always has to be so... Oh, is that a shitting dog?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
That is a naughty. Yep, that's it.
Yep. It had some spicy food.
My God.
And we're groaning, but I assure you, children love it. Like that is no joke I've ever told kills as much as that firework.
Do you make your kids clean up after that dog after it's done? Like, no, go get a plastic baggie and pick that up.
I did make them clean up all the paper, the debris or whatever after. And they didn't like it because they're lazy. But yeah.
Well, that's not the fun part. The fun part's blowing shit up, and then it's like, oh, now we got to be responsible and clean it up.
Right. And that's why you have kids, so they can do a bad job of cleaning up after.
How many kids do you have, Brian?
3.
You have 3 kids?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I'm not used to having people I work with have multiple children. Like there's a few that have like 1, maybe 2.
Yeah,
You have
that's
3.
That's a smart number. Just cut it off there, and after that it just gets out of control.
Yeah, you lose track.
That's right.
Damn, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
They're starting to none of them. I mean, I would like to say one stands out, but they really don't. But they are getting.
The way you phrased that made it sound like you didn't like any of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, that was intentional.
I think that's the joke.
They are getting to the age to where they're like competitive at video games though now. Like definitely like Smash and things like that. I have to like really like try hard to beat the oldest. So yeah.
How old is the oldest now?
10.
What? 10?
So
I was gonna
10.
guess.
So classic like gaming, when you're in your prime kind of, you're starting to hit that stride.
They're gonna go pro any day now. I mean, they're at that perfect age before they get old and decrepit. Like
you joke, but that's like totally true. Like there are like tweens and like young kids who are going pro in these, I guess, like esports things.
I read one time in like school, and I don't know if this is right, but that you see and hear your best when you're 10. So I guess it's all downhill from there. But yeah, I can't button mash my way to victory anymore. So that blows.
God,
I can't wait to see the new NFL league filled with 10-year-olds.
Don't humans suck? Like the rapid decrease of our health and sanity and bodies after like 25. Like everything is just
I
like.
think there's a good reason why people just used to die in their 30s.
Yeah.
Started to give it, and now we've just prolonged it by like 200%, and it's not great. It's just all slowly downhill the whole time.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It's quite crazy. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, do we really just get like 25 to 30 like good, strong, healthy years, like in all your entire life? Like that's what you get, and then everything else is just like downhill.
Unless you're like George Clooney or somebody who can just sort of stay. Some people can, I think, just hang out in that zone where they look 45 forever until they're like 80, and he's like in that.
I think having enough money to be able to like eat really well, have like personal chefs and trainers and people whose job it is to make you look good makes that kind of thing a lot easier.
Absolutely.
And also access to like the best treatments and skincare and like all that stuff that you could ask for. That also
Right.
helps.
Like stuff that's not available to the general public yet, I assume.
Like
yeah.
COVID vaccines.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
The state of Texas announced that, I don't know how they announced it. They announced it like while we were on break, that the next segment of the population was now eligible to receive COVID vaccines. And they announced it like on their website after hours or something. And they didn't give any pharmacies or hospitals a heads up. Like the information just dropped. And I saw it like on the Austin subreddit that was like, hey, apparently almost everybody can get a COVID vaccine now. And of course, everyone just starts calling every pharmacy, like to the point where pharmacies are putting on their website, like, don't call us. We don't know what's going on.
That's a recipe for riots. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like when the gate agent is boarding group 1 and then gets bored and just boards all the other groups without even really looking. And, like, he's
Kevin,
already
that
got
is
the
my
plan.
fucking pet peeve. I cannot tell you enough. The one time I got upgraded and I was group 2, I was so excited because it's the highest group I'd ever been. And they're like, all right, group 1, you're free to board now. They start boarding, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, group 2 and group 3. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me? What's the point? What's the point? Sorry.
I get
There was-
mad. I get mad when they let the military go ahead of me. It's like, I got all these kids. I got like 3 kids here. This is way harder. Come on. You have your little sack with you. You just have your little rucksack. I got like a stroller to deal with. Come on.
You get pre-boarding if you got a stroller, don't you? I'm always giving you parents stink eye when I'm sitting there like, I don't have any kids. Where's my priority boarding?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can lie and like, oh, look, he's sick. Get one of them to start coughing or something. Yeah, you can work it.
I will say the worst way to travel is if you're on crutches. I was on crutches one time for a flight because I had like sprained my ankle that day, so I had no other choice. And trying to handle like a backpack and a carry-on bag while also crutching yourself, I just like ended up
Wow.
like hitting the bag with my crutch every couple steps just to like get it across, and then like getting onto the plane and sitting and trying to get them up there like up in people's bags and stuff like that. It's fucking a nightmare.
I'm picturing like the beginning of an infomercial where it's like you're struggling with all this stuff and it's like, has this ever happened to you?
That was me. That was me in that moment. I felt like so pathetic and useless. And luckily, like some people ended up helping me put my bag up and stuff like that. But I was surprised no one offered to help me like pull my bag through the terminal and stuff like that. I guess people are weird about other people's bags. But
Yeah.
They just don't want to get involved either.
Yeah.
Like, because like they don't want to go with you to gate 20, like on the other side. You know what I mean? Like they got to go this way. She'll be fine. Somebody else will help her, and nobody does. Yeah.
I remember, just speaking of people's bags in an airport years ago, like pre-September 11th. It was probably in the late 90s. I saw this episode of 2020 where they had like one of their reporters go to the airport in Las Vegas with like, this is before September 11th, you could walk up to the gate if you didn't have a ticket. So you would like walked up to the gate with a taped up box and was trying to convince people who were about to fly if they could take the box for him to their destination. And it was shocking how many people were like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take your box for you.
oh my God. But even like at that, even in 2001, like bombs and airplanes were still a thing. Like that
They had
people were aware
hijackings
of.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's so weird to me that was just like not an issue.
Yeah, it was such a weird thing. Like, it was so weird. I remember it to this day. I was like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, this could be someone you're sitting next to. It's like, yeah, I'll take a random weird stranger box on the flight. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it's ticking, but I'm sure it's fine.
What could possibly be in the box? Like, what would you ever stick on a plane without going yourself?
Well, I think
Is
that
it just like-
what their story was that they needed, it was like a present or something. They needed to get to like a family member and they needed to get it there same day, or like they had some contrived story about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine like driving all the way to the airport to do that. Just FedEx it or something.
Well, you're thinking rationally, aren't you?
Yeah.
Could you not one day stuff, like overnight stuff back then?
It was
No,
probably a lot
or it was
more of
like
a pain in the ass.
It
Yeah.
was probably like $50 or something.
I also
crazy. Yeah.
don't think
this was
the
back
test
in the
of-
6 to 8 weeks before delivery. Like,
Yeah.
the good old
I
days.
also don't think this was a test of asking people to take a box on a plane for them and waiting to see if they would go, why can't you just do overnight delivery? Like that wasn't the test of what this was. how many people will come up with a more rational way to ship this box in one
Dude,
day?
haven't you heard of Amazon? What do you mean, the bookseller? No, what do they have to do with this?
It's funny how much shit changes. Like, I don't remember exactly when that aired. I mean, Amazon may not have even existed at that point. But like, I bet back then you couldn't you couldn't go to their website. Like, if you want to FedEx, you couldn't go to the FedEx. You couldn't print a label. You couldn't figure it out for yourself. You probably had to go to a store somewhere and deal with all of that. But it's just weird how quickly that stuff changes. I was recently also rewatching some of the early seasons of The Amazing Race, and like in season 1, they have everyone at the starting line, and they're like, "All right, everyone go," and like everyone runs for a payphone. It's like, what the? Like, how old is this show? Like, for everyone's first instinct is to run to a payphone and call the airline to find out if there are seats available on a plane. It's like, is this the 50s? Like, what the hell am I watching?
I wouldn't even know where to find a payphone nowadays.
They've taken them all down. Yeah, there aren't any. I've got to go reserve this airline ticket and call in this news story to the office. Yeah.
Shit changes. Smartphones are really like the best invention ever. I'm so happy that we have those now.
I feel like there wasn't a there wasn't a giant party when they became a thing. I feel like they just like oozed out and like slowly became normal. But how is it not so amazing that you could go on the internet on your phone? I feel like that should have been the biggest news of all time.
Well, it kind of was. It was a big deal. It's just they were super expensive. People weren't used to paying for phones when the iPhone came out. When smartphones came out, it was crazy that they were charging like $600 or $700 for it. And I mean, nowadays they charge way more.
I remember like 2007, I think, when the iPhones came out. It was like a deal if you had one, and everybody wanted to sort of hold it and see it. But then, like, I feel like 6 months later, everyone had one, or it was like it got adopted really quickly.
It also wasn't like an immediate, like, going from a phone with texting to like this magical phone. Like, I feel like there was a gradual ramp up from other like previous phones before the iPhone.
Yeah, there
like
was
having
Snake first.
certain like games or like internet capabilities that they had. Like, wasn't there a phone that had just like a browser or something like that?
Yeah, I had a Sidekick, and that had a web browser built into it.
Yeah,
And
so
AIM.
Yep. And
It's funny,
texting was around. Yeah.
The original iPhone didn't have an app store, so
No.
it was just like what was on it was what you had. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Even though it had like the same layout of apps, there would just be like a gap at the bottom. Be like, oh, you couldn't have just like evened them all out.
That is weird to think about. Like, I guess you could have deleted some apps.
Could you even delete apps?
I don't know.
I don't know if you could
Yeah.
back then. Yeah, I think it was just
I
like
assume it
it's
might have
on
been,
the
like-
phone.
There could have been local apps, I guess, like for the carrier. So there may have needed to be room. I don't know.
And you couldn't multitask, so it was like if you had to close up your email and then go to the iPod. Like there wasn't it wasn't all at the same time either. Yeah.
Yeah. Super
And
cool.
we could all see better, and our bodies were all much better back then.
That's
How old were you in 2007? I was 18.
Yeah, I was 19.
Yeah. God, what a time to be alive. 2007. Feeling
I was
good.
almost the same age you are now when it was
right.
2007.
Exactly.
Yeah, it disturbs me that I met Gus when he was younger than I am now. Like, I
Yes.
think you were 28 when I met you.
Was I? No, I would have been 27, somewhere around there, 26, 27.
Okay. But
Yeah.
That's even worse. Fuck. Because
I feel like you're the same though. You're a grown up, but you've always been a grown up, even when you were 26.
I was a grown up when I was like 5. I've been shaving for a long time.
You just had that personality, like you were
Yeah.
always like respect. Yeah. I have friends like that.
Yeah. It was a ton of fun. It really gets you a lot of friends when you're a kid, let me tell you.
The guy wondering if we should call our parents before we do this. Yeah.
Oh, man, one time I had to go to when we were in 3rd grade, school had started, like everyone got there in the morning. The first bell rang like at 8 in the morning or whatever, and our teacher wasn't there. And I was the one who went to the office to tell the office that we didn't have a teacher. The whole class was trying to stop me. That was I wonder why people didn't like me back then. It's really weird.
So what was your
Surprising.
what did you just want to learn?
I didn't. It just felt weird, like it wasn't normal if there wasn't a teacher there.
I was that way too. I was a rule follower. Yeah.
Right.
Like one
There was
time
the
my
rules.
my gym teacher thanked me in high school for helping her with the roll. Like take roll every day. It was like, God, so fucking lame. Even in yeah.
I see you cringing thinking about
Yeah. It was like, well, I guess you're the most trustworthy. Like this kid is not gonna mess up the roll. And I didn't. I took the roll. She asked for help. But she would like leave the room and I would just, okay, he's here. Okay, all right. Yep.
Ugh.
And speaking of, like, one time, Barbara, you were talking about being on crutches. The funnest time I ever had in high school was when I broke my foot and I got to be on crutches because there was an elevator in our high school that only people could use if you had the crutches. Otherwise, you would get, like, detention or whatever. So everybody, and it was just it was a two-floor elevator. It was not a big deal, but everybody wanted to ride on the elevator with me. It was like,
Could
it was
you
the
get
closest.
people on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the closest I'll ever to being a VIP of any sort that I could get on
Man.
this elevator. It was
I am
fun.
so jealous because I've definitely been on crutches during high school before. I've sprained my ankle so many times. And no elevator at our school, just had to like crutch myself up the stairs while all the
Hope
kids
you
were
don't
running
die.
back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like those like school stairs that are like that weird like smooth concrete. Right. Like I don't know how more people don't wipe
extra
out.
deadly. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in second grade, I changed elementary schools. I had to go to a different one. And on the first day of school, there was another kid in my class who had a broken leg and he was on crutches. And the teacher assigned me to help him. Like that was my job, was for like the first 6 weeks of school while this kid was in a cast and crutches, was to help him like carry his books and get around the school. And we're still friends to this day. That's the only reason we became friends, is because in second grade, he had a broken leg and I had to help him carry his books. It's like one of the people I've known the longest in my life is just because he broke his leg and the teacher told me to help him.
Maybe he still feels indebted to you.
If you were
It's fate.
responsible enough to remind them that there was no teacher in the classroom, surely you could handle this kid and his books. Yeah.
The
I had
no
a friend-
teacher thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I have the same, like one of my lifelong friends is kind of the same way. It was, I'd moved to a new school in fourth grade and I just sort of like, I didn't really know anybody. And so my teacher called my parents and was like, he's not talking to anybody, or he's just sort of sitting by himself at lunch. And my parents were like, oh no. And she was like, don't worry. I know this great kid. Like we'll pair him off. And he was like, we were very similar. We were both really into video games, and we've been friends ever since. Like it was,
Aw.
and my teacher totally just made that match.
It was a good matchmaker.
Yeah, it was.
Teachers should
I-
be matchmakers.
I just remember how harsh kids can be to teachers. Speaking
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
of no teacher, there was once, it was like, I think we were doing cooking or something. Because at my school we did DT, it could be like cooking or it could be woodwork, whatever. It would just change every term. And we had this cooking teacher that was this old woman. She must have been beyond retirement age. She must have been like very late 60s. And she left the room, and it was a classroom with 2 doors. She left the room once, and one kid just got up and just locked the door behind her, just like locked her out. And she was just like, she came back and she was like trying the handle, tiny little woman, and she was like, open the door. And then she just went around to the other door. The guy unlocks that door and locks that one.
Oh,
Can't get in this one.
Uh,
Then she went around to the other one again. And then she just disappeared off. I never saw her again. That was the last time I
What do
ever
you
saw her.
mean?
I'm not convinced she didn't just leave her job and retire.
Did you still have classes left?
Yeah, we
And
just
she
had a
just-
different teacher from that point on.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That kid bullied her out of her profession.
yeah, y'all ran her off.
Yeah, I bet she just tried the door for the 3rd time and thought, I think I'm done.
I think I had enough of this. I think it's not
I've hit
worth
my
it.
limit. Yeah.
When I was in middle school, I did not have this. I want to preface this by saying I was not in this class. I did not have this teacher. But there was one science teacher who would get bullied by the students, and they would lock him in the supply closet in his room.
Oh no.
I was like, what is going on in that classroom that, like, it's anarchy, that the children have taken over, like the adult who's supposed to be in charge has lost all authority and power,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
like the kid, it's like Lord of the Flies at
Right.
that point. Like the kids have firmly taken over. Like, and it wasn't like a one-off thing. It was something that would happen regularly. And it's like, man, what is happening in that class?
Yeah, like, have they established a new system of government now? Or like, are they sort of teaching their own lessons now? What are they learning? Or what are they doing for that?
Who are they going to vote off the island?
Yeah.
You gotta wait to see.
I feel like I never got in trouble for doing anything bad. I did get in trouble for doing absolutely nothing a lot, though. Like, I remember there was this, because I went to quite a small school, there were a lot of rooms that were shared, like you'd do multiple lessons in there. And I think it was like graphic design or something. And the room had a closet, and the teacher was very clear. He was like, never go in this closet. This is for teachers only. It should remain locked at all times. If I ever see one of you in there, it's going to be big trouble. Maybe they had chemicals in there or something for something else. And then in a different class in the same room, a different teacher told me to get something out of there. And I remember thinking, like, I'm not supposed to go there. And he was like, yeah, just take the key. Get this, here's where it is. And I was just like,
I don't have the security clearance to do this.
in the back of that closet was a window. And I was in there, like, finding this thing. The teacher who screamed at us all not to ever be in there walked past and then, popped back. And I was just like, and I just saw him bolt. He just came running. And then he came storming into the room. He was like, get out of this room. And I was like freaking out. He was like me and him in the closet. He was just screaming and spitting in my face. And I just remember thinking, that is just really unfortunate timing. I've been put into this position by someone else. I'm getting bollocked. The only reason I didn't get detention is because the other teacher was like, no, I told him to.
Yeah. But your greatest fear
happened. His response to that was, oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
Did he apologize to you?
Screaming in my... No, it was a right bastard.
Why was he trying to keep you out of there?
I don't know what he was stashing in there. I don't know what he had. Maybe a secret drug cook or something.
Illegal things on his computer.
Yeah.
In chat, Fofo says that was his drug closet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, surprise me.
Yeah, we had a closet like that in my chemistry lab where it's like you weren't supposed to go in there. There were tons, like, so that's where all the chemicals were, right? Like all the things you do experiments with, and it's like acid and like all kinds of things that could really hurt you. Then for some reason, the last day of school, our teacher was like, "Yeah, you can go in there, look around if you want." Like, we weren't allowed in all year. Then the last day, it was like, "Oh, okay." Then we like everyone went in. It's like, "Yeah, this is really dangerous. None of us should be in here."
Yeah, why didn't they do that in the first place as a learning experience to be like, "See, like, this is dangerous. You don't want to be in here." Okay.
It's just crazy how differently you, I guess. Like a situation like that back then, I was shitting my pants, and I probably spent the rest of the day reliving that guy screaming in my face, just because like that was, you don't really know a lot, you don't have the wisdom. Now I'd be like, shut up, you old bastard.
I'm sure that would have resulted in a really great experience for you.
Yeah. Instead, I probably nearly cried and just went quietly sat down afterwards.
Slunk away.
Did you guys ever like do really stupid shit in high school just to make your friends laugh? Like, was that something that you were known for?
Yeah.
I used to do this thing, and I don't know how it became so funny and why we did it all the time, because it was really stupid and dangerous. But I had a friend who some of you guys know named Brittany. She would fucking lose her shit every time I would run full speed into these gym doors that were closed and just body slam myself against the door. And she would like crack up every time. And I'm like, I could have broken a shoulder or something like this, because I'm just like full speed running at this thing just to make her laugh. Just stupid shit like that all the time.
But it was working, so you did it. Yeah, it
exactly. You know,
gotta laugh.
I have a very small audience. I got to do something.
Before YouTube.
Always an entertainer.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it's funny thinking back about school. I was looking up my old high school for some reason. I think Esther and I were talking about our high schools, and I was looking it up, and I showed her like a photo of it, like on Google Street View, and she was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's the security guard station." She's like, "You had a security guard station?" And I was like, "Have I not told you that the high school I went to was essentially a prison? Like there was a separate security outpost where all the security guards were.
Guard towers."
Right. Like it was on the perimeter. And I guess like someone ran their car into it and like knocked it over this past year. Anyway, I went to a terrible school that nobody
So your
should
school
ever
had
have
like
to go to.
set entrances and exits. You couldn't just like stroll out from anywhere.
Right. Like even coming onto the campus, there were set checkpoints that you had to go through. And this was like before school shootings and shit, right? Like there were no metal detectors at the school or anything like that. It's like there were checkpoints to even get on the campus, and then I guess like different doors to get into the building itself.
Damn.
Different times. Yeah.
They would have really flipped out if you had gone into the wrong supply closet.
Oh yeah.
They would have not.
No,
There
it's
would
gonna
have been
make
more
some
than just yelling.
One time, actually, now that I think about it, someone actually showed up to my high school with a gun once, like in '94. And like one student tried to shoot another student, but they struggled over the gun and like ended up shooting the ceiling and no one got hurt. And I don't think anything happened to that student. I think they just took her gun. It was a female student. I think they just took her gun away. Like I think they didn't even like expel her or anything.
Oh my god, what?
Texas rules.
They were like, "No, we told you can't bring that gun to school anymore.
Yeah.
We're taking it from you."
Until the end of the school day, and then it needs to stay at home.
You need to keep it in your locker during the school day.
Right.
All right.
I
Don't
love
have it out about.
how many countries there are on Earth where that person would still be in prison.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It changed a
America.
lot, like after Columbine, though, because I remember going like to pick up my little sister, who was like in high school, and I graduated, and I feel like I was in college at this point, or maybe even older, and I just went into the building to get her because it was time, and then I was mobbed by security, just like, where are you? You need to go to the office and go to the office and get the pass or something. I did not get the pass. It was kind of terrifying, actually. They were like flipping out. They're like, this old guy's here for some reason.
What's he doing?
He's asking for a specific student. This can't be good. Yeah.
He's got a stroller with him. Just listen to him, all right? He needs extra assistance.
Right. That's right.
So Gus, I heard you beat Cyberpunk.
I beat Cyberpunk. I was done. I mean, there were still more missions I could have done, but I think I was done with the game for now. I wanted it to be over. So I pushed through. I got to the point. I had a save at the point where it was like, if you proceed any further past here, there's no going back. Like the game's going to end. So it's like, I was like, that's it. I'm going to go there and I'm going to finish it. So I finished it. I don't know how many endings there are. I think there's like 6 endings or something. So I've only seen one of them, and I was not happy with my ending.
That sucks.
Oh, is it like you get a bad ending, like Nier Automata or something, where it's just like,
I
you died?
I didn't like the story choice, I guess. I didn't like where it went.
Is there a way to, I don't know the mechanics of this game at all. Is there a way to reload from a certain save point and get a different story?
Yeah, that's
Or
kind of what I
different
was
ending,
trying to do. That's kind of what I was trying to do up until the point where I was done with it. I was trying to advance to the point where I was ready to finish the game in any of the ways possible. But I may go back and do that in the future. Like maybe once the game's patched a bit, I'll go back and see the other one, see if there's
The
one that I
sign
like
of any
more.
good game. I just wanted it to be over. Yes.
I'm getting to the point now. I still haven't beat it, so no, we won't do spoilers or anything. I'm like able to upgrade stuff. I think I'm level 35 or something. But I'm seeing stuff in my skill trees that I don't know how to do. Like there's one that's like human shield, and it says like while you're grappling an enemy, you have more armor, and it's like a picture of a guy holding someone and having. I've never been able to grab someone and hold a gun at the same time. Can you do that?
Maybe
you
you
ever
need the perk. I've never done that. I don't have that perk.
I haven't either.
I can see the perk that's called human shield, but I don't know what the base perk. Like, why can I get that if I can't do this? Like, you can grab people and choke them out and stuff. Or you
Right.
can hold people and shoot when they're dead or unconscious. But I don't think that's what that perk is talking about. So I'm like, why would I? What am I doing? Why am I getting this?
Increases armor by 20% when grappling an enemy.
What does that mean, grappling an enemy? Then what is the context of that in this game?
I believe the actual definition of grapple is this. Right? Like, is that what what is grapple? That's grapple, right?
You got to make the face, Barbara.
I was not expecting that. You're just like.
Like if you're struggling with them, like if you're down on the ground, like rolling around, because I think that's what grappling is. It's like jujitsu stuff, like UFC when they're just down.
Yeah, I would say if I was trying to like just wrestle a gun off
Yeah.
someone, that'd be grappling.
I think I know why I thought this was grappling, because I'm thinking of a grapple hook that's like.
Oh.
So I'm like putting my hands like.
I think
Maybe
if
that's what it
human
does in Cyberpunk. You just start doing this, and that's it.
Yeah,
That'd be
maybe
great.
that's what I'm thinking of. It's just a lot of hand movement.
I see a lot. I tried Googling it. And I see a lot of people who are very confused about it as well. And it seems to be the consensus is that you cannot shoot when you have that perk. That all you do is you hold them, and it increases your armor, but you cannot shoot back.
It's not
Why would
like
you want
Bad
that?
Guy at the end of an 80s movie where he grabs your girlfriend and then like points the gun at you. Yeah.
I mean, surely if you've got someone, if you're holding, wait, so it's saying when you're grabbing someone or when you're holding a body?
When you're grabbing someone.
Why would you need more armor then? If people are shooting at you while you're doing that, it's gone tits up anyway. Just chuck that guy and get shooted. Like, what's the point of? That's the most pointless perk ever.
Yeah, if his buddies are shooting at you, 20% is not going to do that much for your armor.
This comment made me crack up. Hanging Frog in the chat wrote, grapple arthritis, apparently.
How long did it take you to beat it, Gus? Because I've always heard it's very short to finish. It's a lifelong battle.
I think I put 30 hours into it, is what I want to say. I could be wrong.
That's pretty good.
I didn't really pay attention to the time. I guess I'd go back and look.
Was it like, did you do kind of a leisurely, do all the side quest type of a run?
I kind of really focused on one storyline, and I got to the point where it said if you proceed, the game's going to end. And then from there, I started like sidetracking and doing other storylines to try to kind of flesh it out.
Right.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say it was super focused, but it wasn't like super in depth doing every single side quest either. And according to howlongtobeat.com, the main story is 20 hours. So I would think that my 30-hour estimate is probably about right.
I assume doing a lot more side stuff gives you a better ending, though.
Oh, I don't know.
Like the true ending.
Completionist is 88 hours.
Oh, wow.
I don't understand the mentality of getting a game and then wanting to complete it as fast as possible. I feel like I'd want to take
if you're not
my
having
time
fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if you're not having fun, but if you are having fun, like, wouldn't you want to like really stretch that out?
That's what I'm doing. I'm having fun with it. I mean, I can definitely recognize how broken it is and how immersion breaking it is at times, and how there seems to be a lot missing that they were originally going to include. It's just a classic story of they just had to get it out, I guess. But
yeah,
I'm still having fun. It's getting a bit samey though with all the extra stuff you have to do. There's a lot of just like find this area, clear out these people, find the piece of evidence and leave. Sort of.
Well, I mean, that's like all video games, right? There's only like 5 missions ever. Right. You're just like everything's a variant of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there any escort quests? I don't think there were any escort quests that I had to do.
I don't remember doing any.
Yeah, I fucking hate escort quests.
No, they're the worst.
Yeah.
What's an escort quest? Progress. Is that just having
it's
to
like where there's an NPC
someone
you have to go with? Yeah. It's like, follow me to this thing. And you're like, oh my God.
And then you grapple with them.
Excuse me.
And you run full speed into a double gym door.
All right. On crutches. Okay.
Sean
let's
Herring
just add everything.
In chat, Sean Herring says people like grapples.
God, for the love of God, enough. We're done.
An escort quest is when you go to backpage.com and enter in your city name and find somebody you like.
I need a rim shot sound effect on my soundboard here. I can hit anytime we have Brian on.
That would be awesome. That'd be badass.
You do need that.
Oh, speaking of badass, you've watched all of Cobra Kai season 3 already, haven't you, Brian?
Oh, hell yes. Yes. It's awesome. I wrote a review of it. I was so into it. Yeah.
I'm halfway through season 3. I didn't want to, as much as I wanted to watch it all in one sitting, I was like, no, I need to space it out. So I'm only on episode 5 right now.
I wish they had done it like The Mandalorian and parceled it out like a week at a time, like, the good old days, because
you can parcel it yourself.
Right. No, I can't control myself. That was what I was going to say. I was done by the early morning of January 2nd. I had finished it. It's very good. It's the best one yet. I think there's just there's so much like fan service and so many tangents they go on and so many like returning, faces. And they also clearly have Netflix money now. Like YouTube Red is not going to fly Daniel out to Okinawa, but like they can do that now. And so it feels like they're able to do more of what they want to do and just go nuts. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. I only found it recently, I guess, like during quarantine, maybe late summer, early fall. I watched the first 2 seasons, and
Did Jeff tell you
really
about it?
into it? I don't think so.
That's how Jeff apparently has been watching it and loves it. He's been hyping it up to me and Trevor for a while, so I didn't know if that's how you found out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's also you're seeing so much of it from Johnny's perspective and his just constant scoffing at all of Mr. Miyagi's teachings and all of the bonsai stuff and everything. It's so funny because it kind of makes Daniel look like a douche a lot of the times. And so it's just really fun to, for Daniel not to be the squeaky clean good boy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's a great show. I'm so happy. And they had a trailer a couple months back, for season 3, and they also teased that season 4 is already in the works as well. It's been greenlit.
Oh, good. So, I'm sure. Yeah, it's also, they did a really good job of like, I think introducing new characters because they're clearly trying to get, focus some attention on the kids because they need somebody to do the karate and not just guys in their 50s. Yeah. But they do a good job of like, it's still mostly about Daniel and Johnny, but they just kind of gradually, they don't force the kids on you, but they're in there, but they aren't kind of the main part. I feel like it's what Star Wars should have done with of the newer cast.
Yeah, it's absolutely a masterclass in like preserving your old characters and introducing new ones as well.
Right.
It's like you have, if you've seen the old stuff, obviously you get it. But I think you probably don't even have to have seen the Karate Kid or know shit about it.
I don't think so. It wasn't a complicated plot or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have like short flashbacks if you never saw the movie that like get you up to speed. You'll need to watch like a flashback in a TV show to understand what's going on.
You see Johnny get kicked in the head 1,000,000 times. Yeah.
What if I saw the Karate Kid but the Jaden Smith version?
Yeah, you'll be lost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah.
I think I've seen both, but at least saw that one more recently. It's not bad. It's not a bad movie.
I never saw that one. I'm an old man. I only saw the old 80s one.
Have you finished The Hobbits yet?
I watched all 3 Hobbits this weekend.
I'd never watched those. Yeah.
I'd never actually seen all of them, so I sat down and watched all of them. And like as a whole, I'm like, the story's fine. It shouldn't have been 9 hours of my life. I mean, it's probably more like 8.5 hours. It's like, this is way too long for this story. And the second movie ends in the middle of a fight. It's like the credits started rolling, and I thought my playback was messed up. And I was like, that's weird. So I rewound it. I was like, oh no, that is the end of the movie.
You thought you'd done skip chapter, and it was right to the end.
Luckily, I didn't have to wait a year for the next one to come out. Like I just played the next movie. But
that's what's nice about binging stuff that's already out. You just don't have to wait at all. It's great.
Yeah, I'm halfway through the second one now. Is The Hobbit a kid's book? Because I feel like the tone is mental. It's completely like there was that bit in the first one where they're underground and the giant goblin just starts singing. and I having never seen the first Hobbit, I was like, "Is this a child's book? Who's this for?"
I think the first Hobbit was, where he goes and finds the ring, and Gollum's
it makes sense. I just didn't know that, and it was very when he just erupted into a big musical number. I was like. But I'm also watching the extended. Was that in the theatrical?
Yes, there was. Okay. I don't know if it's longer in the extended, but the Goblin King definitely did sing in the first movie. I don't
remember the dragons doing a dance number in Lord of the Rings. It's weird.
The only Goblin King I want to watch is David Bowie. All right.
Hell yeah.
Good choice.
Do you remember, Brian? You're an old man like me.
Yes.
When I was young, I remember I used to always see these television commercials for an animated version of The Hobbit. Like
Yes,
you had to like
yes.
buy it. Like you had to send them like $25 and they would send you a VHS tape.
Yeah, and
that
Bilbo
was, like,
had all these wrinkles and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it was like it feels like it was like a Time Life thing or something to where I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was weird because I hadn't thought about that in years. And after I watched the movies, I looked up a YouTube video of like what it looked like. I was like, I feel like I'm 5 years old again.
Yeah. I know I wouldn't have gotten it because there's no way my parents would have trusted me or trusted, like, we're not going to spend $25 to get you one thing. It wouldn't have happened, but yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah, I've never seen it. All I ever saw was that commercial that they played every now and then the YouTube video trailer I watched yesterday about it. I'm an adult now. I could buy that. Like,
You could.
find
There's literally nothing stopping you. Yeah,
You
or
have
it's
some
probably
disposable income.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
somewhere on the internet. You could probably just watch it.
Is there anything that you really were excited to be an adult for as a child, and you've been like waiting to grow up to do it, but you haven't done it yet? Like, is there anything that you still want to do from childhood?
I
I want to
still
fly a
get.
plane.
Oh yeah.
That's
You
less-
should,
that's
Gus.
easy.
You should.
Yeah.
You should try to do that at some point. I feel like you could take flying lessons in Austin and then eventually
One
learn
day.
how to fly. Maybe not like a commercial flight, but a little plane. I'm still kind of like blown away by the fact I get to choose the food that I get to buy for my own place and what I get to eat every day, and like buy my own clothes and my own stuff, and like just have income for buying things that I want rather than asking my parents if I can
Yeah.
have something as a
Yeah.
kid. Like, that's still, even to this day, I've lived away from home for like 16 years. It's still weird to me.
I still have the childhood mentalities of stuff though. Like,
Yeah.
I can now buy ice cream whenever I want. But if I'm just eating ice cream, I still stop after like I've eaten like an inch of ice cream, and I'd still go, I probably shouldn't have any more.
Because I feel like
My parents would have been like, that's enough.
Yeah.
it happens at the perfect time where adulthood and like independency, what's the word? Yeah, maybe
Independence?
Yeah.
being independent, that like perfectly aligns with you being aware of what food and lack of exercise do to your weight and health. And you're like, fuck, like I could now buy anything I want and eat anything I want. But now I'm aware that if I eat all this ice cream, I'll probably gain a ton of weight and look like, really unhealthy if I keep going down this road of only eating sweets that I want to do now that I'm independent. It's the worst timing. I wish we got disposable income like at age 10 or something like that.
I still, like, any purchase over $30 makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Like I still feel weird about it. Like, I shouldn't be spending this much money on anything. Like, if it's $5, yes, like a comic book and some candy, that's fine. But anything like, and if it's $100, like, I'll have to think about it a long time.
I
like, do
still think that with
research.
the price of video games, if it's
Yes,
more than
yes.
the cost of, for me, it used to be like £39.99. But now if it's more than $60, I want to be like, do I really want this?
Yes.
Do I really need this? Because it's a game that I'm not going to buy.
It's funny. I think of things kind of in video game sense as well. Like, this is 2 video games. Or
Yeah.
I think of
Funny
things
how
in
you
like
just never
a
lose that.
yeah.
like a Starbucks drink. Like, knowing people are willing to spend like $5 to $10 on a single drink sometimes is absurd to me.
Ugh,
And I'm like,
you could
God,
just
that's like
make it.
this new shirt is like 4 Starbucks drinks or something like that, or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And some
See,
people
I didn't
still
really
will like,
start using Starbucks until I was in my mid-20s. So I never really equated that to doing
oh,
stuff
I've
I
only
couldn't access.
started doing it when I was older.
Hmm.
I think it's because like there was a subscription I wanted to sign up for that was like $5 or $6 a month, and I was like, ugh, that's expensive. And I was like, I just bought this Starbucks drink for $7.50. Like, what am I prioritizing here?
Yeah, I remember there was when me and my friends would go out for a Burger King or something, which was the only fast food anywhere near us. But the one right near us, the Whoppers, or like a Whopper meal, was like £6.20 because it was like a part of a service station. So we would go way further to get a Whopper meal for like $5.50. But we would have to drive really far away from the one that was right near us. Doesn't seem like worth doing.
No.
Maybe
We used
not.
to do it all the time though.
But when money's tight, or all you have is like, when you're a kid and you don't have you only have your allowance or whatever, I would totally do that.
Yeah,
One
your
time-
time is worth nothing to you when you're
No,
a kid. It's like,
no, that's
I got
all you've got
the
is
time in the
time.
world, and then
Yeah.
it just flips the other way.
Yeah.
One time when I was in high school, I was doing a scavenger hunt with that friend who had a broken leg. It had healed by this point, and Frank, who has been in some Rooster Teeth stuff that we do, and we were like, so we're going to the scavenger hunt, and we were leaving from the start of it, and we got into like one of my friend's cars, and we realized that his car had no gas. And none of us had any money. So it's like we had to look through the car and in our pockets, and we found 70 cents.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we pulled up to a gas station, and we had to convince Frank to go in and tell him we wanted to put 70 cents of gas in the car.
Oh
Can
my
they even
God.
dispense that little?
Yeah, it could. Because back then, I mean, gas was probably like 80 cents a gallon or something, right? So it's
Oh,
like, it was
okay.
not quite a gallon. So it was almost a gallon worth of gas. But it's like none of us wanted to do it. So we were like, Frank, you have to go in and tell them we only want 70 cents worth of gas on this pump.
You have to humiliate yourself in front of this bored attendant.
Oh, man.
College was like that too, I feel like. I just remember never having any money, like at all, to do anything. And a friend of mine was like, yeah, I remember you were so broke, I remember you being broke.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I was like, damn, that must have been really bad.
Yeah, it has to be extreme for someone else to remember because, like, yeah,
To
of course, you'll
notice.
always remember what financial state you were at different points in your life, but for someone else to notice, yeah.
I was like, was I wearing a barrel at times? Like, jeez.
No belt, just a rope.
Yeah. mhm.
Did my cardboard shirt give it away? I don't know.
Right.
Who's to say? Someone else pointed out in chat too, which is something like I'd never think about, but like going out drinking is so expensive. Like a shot is like $10, and like a mixed drink at some bars is like $12-15 depending on where you're going. It's insane, and like people just blow money going out drinking all the
And
time.
I still think back to when I went to Vegas with Dan for New Year's, and he was just ordering every drink on the menu, but he didn't. I don't think either it didn't have the prices or he just wasn't
Oh,
looking
no.
because he can't read menus anyway. But he was ordering like $25 cocktails,
Oh,
like,
Oh my
like they were just
god!
pints of beer, and then I think it was like $200 worth of drinks that he personally drank.
When we went to do that season 2 premiere of Red versus Blue in New York, I think you attended that, Gavin. I remember the first day we were there for that event, I went to the hotel bar, the hotel we were staying at, and I wanted to get a drink before we went out to go do the event. And it was my first time, like, as an adult, really, in New York, in Manhattan. So I walk up to the bar and I order a vodka soda, and I reach into my wallet and I pull out $20. I'm like, man, I can't begin to imagine how expensive this stupid drink's going to be here in New York.
Yeah.
And the bartender puts the drink in front of me, looks at me and says, it's $25. And I was like,
Oh.
what the fuck? So I pulled out 20 thinking I was going to pay for it, tip, and get change back. And it's like, no, that's not enough. Like I had to pull my wallet back out and get more money to pay for the fucking drink that I had just ordered. I
Yep.
was so annoyed.
Oh, that's so expensive.
That was in 2004, dude.
Oh, that's like
There's a time
50 now.
One of the first bars I went to when I moved to Montreal to go to college in that city, and I was 18 at the time, which is legal drinking age there, by the way, just in case people didn't know. And I remember the first bar I went to, I was like, I'm going to order a Smirnoff Ice because that's easy to drink, and I know what that is because I had very little knowledge of alcohol. And they charged me $15 for a bottle of Smirnoff Ice.
Holy
like
shit.
it wasn't a mixed
Jeez.
cocktail, but it was just one of those like douchey bars that charges
Yeah,
an insane
yeah.
amount. And I'm like, am I supposed to tip this girl who literally just took the bottle that went, here you go, $15? Like,
Yeah.
oh my fucking
Because
Christ.
you're already over budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have stayed home and bought 2 6-packs.
Well, then I learned later on in college that like when you'd go pre-drinking at someone's apartment or house with like
Right.
your friends before going out, I would buy, what is it, Yellowtail, that wine brand?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where you get like the fucking liter of wine for $8 or something
Yeah.
like that. I'm just like, I'm just gonna drink this.
I
Not the
remember
whole
the
thing.
first
Don't worry.
time I legally bought booze in a pub. I guess I didn't really know how it worked. I'd seen a lot of soap operas like EastEnders or something where people just walk up and go, I'll have a pint, please. so I just went up. I was like, I'll have a pint. And the guy was like,
What?
pint of what? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like,
We've reached the limits of my knowledge.
yeah. And he was like, well, we got all these. And I was like, I don't know if I like any of them. Which one do you? And it was this. And then I felt like, I don't think I ordered booze for like 2 months out of embarrassment.
Oh my
I was
god.
just too scared. And then
Yeah,
I
they
sat
do,
with
'cause-
Stella. Was an often one I went for, and maybe sometimes a Peroni.
What about some Guinness?
Or
Little pint of Guinness.
If I'm feeling like drinking a meal.
They do that in movies a lot, though. Those, oh, I'll have a beer. Because they don't want to say like a brand name or something. So
Yeah.
I can totally say, I'll
thought
just have a beer.
And honestly, the moment I finished saying, I'll have a pint, please, I thought, wait, how does this? And then he was like, pint of what? I was like, yeah, that's just on TV, isn't it?
It's so like you're talking about how like on TV and movies they'll just say like a pint, like they don't want to avoid brands. In the most recent season of Cobra Kai, they had like a car company kind of figures prominently in one of the storylines, so they had to make up like a fake car company.
Yeah. Like
And
a weird brand.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, so there's like, what would be a fake Japanese car company name? Like, I wonder how long they sat around thinking about what can we call this fictitious car company?
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
the background, while they're talking in their dealership, it's like, that's clearly Lexus logos behind you.
That went over my head because I know exactly what you're talking about. I just took it like as a given. It was just some brand I didn't know of. Yeah. But I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's like totally made up to avoid any problems.
Yeah. And if they ever get like weirdly specific, you know somebody paid them to like, I'll have a Pepsi,
Right.
please. Like, no, you wouldn't. No one orders
What's
that.
weird about that is, so they made up that car in Cobra Kai season 3. They made up that car company name, and then like I think that same episode or maybe the next episode, Daniel's in a bar ordering a drink, and there's like a bottle of whiskey that's fronted to camera, and it's like the label is very clearly in focus, like right over his shoulder. Like, well,
Right.
obviously that's planted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was that scene in, what was it, not Judge Dredd, Demolition Man, where they have a whole scene where they go to Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
yeah.
that? They're like, oh, let's all go to Taco Bell. It's a big deal. Yeah.
I think there's two things everyone remembers about Demolition Man. It's Taco Bell and the seashells. Like, that's it.
Yeah, the seashells. Yeah. And Wesley Snipes with the blonde hair.
I
Yeah,
think I
that's
mentioned
true.
this a couple weeks ago, but I've been watching the shit out of Survivor. Brian, have you ever seen Survivor?
I think I saw the first one. Yes,
Okay,
but
so you're
I'm
not as
aware.
familiar.
More of
So
a
they-
Flavor of Love guy. Yeah.
Everyone has their own reality shows that they like. But I did not realize until recently how much goddamn product placement there is on that show. Like, we were watching an episode the other day, and they're like, all right, this is the reward challenge, and the reward today is going to be you get to spend the day at the 7-Up lounge. They're going to have bottles of crisp, delicious 7-Up. And like before the challenge too, he's like, you guys all want to taste? And like, you know, took out the bottle of 7-Up, and it looked all beautiful, and handed it to them. They each took a sip and all that stuff. And then like
It's
when they won, they're all
delicious.
just like basking their logos everywhere. And it's like, it's so in your face, but I don't even know if you really think about it all that much anymore.
Yeah.
Or back
In-
then at least.
Subtle.
And like I said, I've been rewatching some of the early seasons of Survivor. I'm sorry, of Amazing Race.
Oh,
And,
I was getting
in,
really excited.
No. In the first season of The Amazing Race, there's like none of that, right? I guess like it was a new show. No one knew it was going to be popular. There's none of that. Then by season 2, immediately they're like, you've won this prize. You've won a trip provided by American Airlines, or you've won a Kodak EasyShare digital camera. You get to enjoy it after the race. Like immediately they go from 0 to like all out. Like as soon as everyone knew that it was going to be
Yeah.
a popular show, it's
Yeah.
like every advertiser was on board.
It's also, just to keep the production afloat, like you almost need those product placements or just brand sponsorships to keep it
Yeah,
going.
I mean, I've got no problem with it, but it was funny because in one season, like they had been giving away so many of these Kodak EasyShare digital cameras. I fucking remember it now. That like one of the challenges, they had to like take a picture with the Kodak EasyShare digital camera, and then they had to like use the Kodak printer and like put the camera on the printer and print a photo. But one of the teams couldn't figure it out, and they were like, "This is so hard." And I was like, I wonder how happy Kodak was with
Yeah.
this. Like they're
We have
struggling
some
with it.
notes.
Like, yeah, we can't
Yeah.
figure out how to make it print. Like it's not working.
Or if they had to cut so much of them being like, this fucking piece of shit, god damn, this thing doesn't work. Who gives
Easy share my ass. Yeah. Just banging the camera.
Is that what was easy about it then? You just plop the camera on top of the printer and it prints? Is that what was the
Easily
sharing part?
frustrating.
I guess that must have been it.
Hmm.
That's what they did in their challenge. I don't remember what Kodak Easy Show digital cameras did back in 2004. Sorry.
Have you ever noticed, like on ABC shows, like the family sitcom, there's always an episode where they go to Disney World? Like always.
Oh,
It's like Family Matters or whatever. I think they did it in Blackish too. There's always one episode and they all go and have a great time. And that's like the whole point of the show. They're just having a great time.
Which Transformers movie was it where they stopped the movie to have a Mercedes commercial? He's like looking up a car, and then they get up the webpage. He's like, "Oh, this is like a $100,000 car." It's like spinning around. It's just like showing all the features of this car.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I guess in the plot, you're like, you start off and you're on board. You're like, "Oh yeah, they need to find out this car,"
Yeah,
and then they're like,
yeah.
"Well, then now they're just saying nice things about the car." Now
All of a sudden, his voice is a different voice, and it's like, the new Mercedes available.
Wait, now there's a 1-800 number on the bottom of the screen. This feels...
It was in Rainbow Six Vegas that also happens where it's like we are going into like one of the levels. You can like shoot all the cars except for one car that's like in the spotlight. It's some Dodge vehicle. It's like a God, what was it?
Yeah, I think there was. Oh no, I'm
There's-
thinking of Splinter Cell had the big blimp that had airwaves like the chewing gum, but then I think that's just a UK gum. So maybe that was a different blimp for different. Did you have airwaves gum here?
No, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
I think it was Splinter Cell. I'll try and find the picture.
They put a Mercedes in Mario Kart. It's one of the cars you can, and it's so out of place. Like it's so out of. It's like you can ride a little Caterpillar or the new Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
2020.
Mario only drives German cars because he loves to reminisce about World War II.
Yeah, it's like let's pump the brakes on this German Japan
You got, like,
team up here.
German, Japan, Italy.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of having like a bubble car, a Caterpillar, and a Mercedes,
And an Audi 5000. Yeah.
and a bicycle.
Right.
Yeah, I found the picture that I was looking for. I still don't know what game it is, but this was the you can see it, the blimp.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Airway.
Airwaves,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Wrigley's Airwaves.
Oh, Wrigley's. We have that here. Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe not the Airwaves part.
People
We
are
don't
saying
have
that
airwaves here.
the car displayed in Rainbow Six Vegas was the Dodge Magnum. Thank you. I was not crazy. And then in chat, Sean Herring says it's 5 gum. Is Airwaves the same as 5 gum here?
We're getting a good old shrug from Gavin.
I don't know. I mean, I've had both. I didn't know if they're the same thing.
What does it? Is it? I mean, this is a dumb question. I was going to ask, what does it look like? But all gum essentially looks the same. It's a long strip of green or blue.
Or pink if you're a fucking baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Airwaves.
You know what I didn't think about? I haven't chewed gum in probably a year at this point, because I would chew gum if I was like on an airplane or like at a convention or something and I wanted my breath to smell okay. But like, I haven't chewed gum ever since it started.
It's like a double-edged sword, right? 1, you don't see anybody. 2, you're wearing a mask, so even if you saw anybody, they wouldn't be able to smell your terrible breath.
Exactly. Yeah, just me. It's just going back in.
Yeah. I have chewed gum a few times just because when I put a mask on, I don't want to smell my own coffee breath. Like, that's the
enough.
only
That's a
time
good
it's come
idea.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
But if you're always at home, you can just brush your teeth all the time.
Yeah, or I could just chew gum.
You know, it's something that you guys will never experience, which I have to experience with all my masks. I still wear makeup. If I go out, I'll wear like, you know, foundation. Sometimes I'll put on like lip gloss or whatever, even though I'm wearing a mask. And then all my masks, because they're white inside, have like, it looks like my lower half of my face has been imprinted onto the mask because it's makeup and then like a little lip stain of where my lipstick was. And so it just looks like the back of a face.
Does it not
On
come
the
out in the
mask.
wash?
It does. I only wash them like once a week. So like when I take it off, that's what it looks like. Yeah. Do you wash
So-
yours every time?
No, I take mine off and then I lick the outside of them.
That's a
And
good plan
that
too.
usually just cleans off and they're ready to go again.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
a
I've got
Not
a bunch of them. I use a new one every time I need one. So I use it, then it gets washed.
Yeah.
That's like things I didn't own at the start of last year. About 30 fucking masks.
Yeah.
Do you feel?
That's a good
I'm
time.
not going to stop using them though.
Oh, me
like,
neither.
Even after the vaccine, like I'm going to be like the people in Japan and China now. I
Yeah.
feel like that's just that's how I want to be from now
I-
on.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
kinda like wearing the mask. I don't.
I
understand-
haven't caught a cold this year. It's great.
Yeah, plus, I mean, you're also not seeing people, so that makes it easier.
Mhm.
But
That's
like,
great, too.
I don't understand the people who don't want to wear them. Like, oh hell yeah, I'm all about this. I want to wear it all the time.
You know, it's also
yeah.
great that I'm only realizing now that it's January and it's getting colder out. It is so fucking nice and warm to have a mask over the lower part of your face. Like, I wish I knew about that when I lived in Canada because it would have been so much more comfortable to be outside having this part covered.
Well, you're wearing a beanie. It's the same concept, really.
Yeah.
So you can just put a beanie over your face.
No, I mean like the idea that putting something over that body part keeps it warm.
No, but
would've
I
said a
mean,
scarf,
like-
but
Yeah, like I mean, like I didn't own a mask years ago to wear like that, and like now that I've experienced wearing that in the wintertime, I wish I could go back in time and give myself a mask like that, so I could have worn that outside and been comfortable.
Yeah, or a scarf.
Yeah, but like the scarf, it's like wrapped around there. It's bulky, like
Or a
it's all like up in your.
balaclava.
It's all up in your grill. You're grappling with it, you know.
in,
Don't
I
know
feel
what's
like
going on.
balaclavas and ski masks have a bad rap. I think they're
oh
great.
yeah,
Yes.
I felt strange the other day. I had to go to a convenience store because I needed to buy something, and I was paying for my purchase, and of course I had a mask on. And like I was the only person in the store. I'm like finishing my transaction, buying my stuff, and I heard the door open, and the door was to my left. So I turned to my left to look to see who's walking in, and it's two police officers. And I felt really guilty wearing a mask, like standing at the cash register. Like, are they going to think that I'm robbing the place? And it's like, no, wait, they've got their masks on. Like, no, that's just the reality we live in now.
Yep. I have a lot of people saying like, "What about a scarf?" Like, let me put it this way: the mask like fits to your face. It's all like nicely tight and everything, like around the part that really matters. Would you rather wear a jacket, or would you rather wrap a scarf or piece of fabric around your
I'm just
top
saying,
part of
if
your
it's-
body?
If it's cold enough where your mouth is cold, just pop a scarf around it.
I would, but it would be annoying. It would fall down. It would like I would have to hold it. Like it doesn't just stay up by itself.
And also everybody
worst
else is wearing
Canadian
masks
ever.
now too.
It was annoying. Okay. Lots and lots of winter clothes are not fun to deal with on a daily basis.
I get that. It's yeah, it's convenient. It wasn't the revelation to me that having something here makes you warmer.
Well, I know it's something covering a piece of your body makes that piece of your body warmer. I know that, Kevin. But nobody owned like fabric masks like that at that time. It wasn't even really a concept.
Yeah, they weren't
You
a
know?
thing. Yeah. It's also weird in the winter, like the rest of your body gets so much. You get gloves, you get like a jacket, you get scarves, you get a hat, maybe a mask, maybe something around your face. But your legs, you're just like, jeans are fine. They're fine for you just like the rest of the year.
These things
And
that
that's like a
hold in
lot of
cold
your
air.
body. Yeah. Your jeans are fine. You'll be fine.
That is weird.
Jeans are
I guess you can wear
awful.
like thermal underwear, but
I
Then we
guess so,
got-
but it'd feel weird. That would be too much, though. It would.
yeah, normally that's like something you picture someone like trekking out to the Arctic has. Like,
Right,
nobody
exactly.
here in Central Texas has fucking
That kicks
thermal
it up a
underwear.
level. That's like dog sledding
Yeah.
gear. Yeah, not just walking around. You're just like, find your jeans.
Well, did you ever go like skiing or snowboarding as a kid?
Yeah,
an
that's
adult?
true. And you wear that bib over it. Yeah, that's true.
Wait,
that-
what?
You are a bib?
What
Well,
bib?
like a ski bib. Have you not heard that? It's basically big overalls that you wear over,
Oh,
and then
no.
you
I've
and then
never
you
been
put your
skiing.
ski jacket over. Oh yeah, it's nice.
Oh, it's like yeah, it's just essentially pants with suspenders essentially.
yes, exactly. Yes, and then you put
That
your-
hold up your
Oh.
they hold up your snow pants is what we call them.
Okay,
And then you put
alright.
your jacket on
Fair
and then
play. I mean, does it work if you spill food down them as well? Is it also a bib?
yeah, they're
totally.
waterproof.
Yep. Mhm. Even better than a bib, really. Yeah. You can get your whole
Oh,
legs
yeah.
dirty.
I only ever went skiing once, and I was an adult by the time I did it. Actually, I take it back. I've done it twice. But I think the first time I went, I was 26 years old. So I never got to. Like, I mean, I lived in South Texas my whole life growing up, so never saw snow until I was much older as an
Can't
must
adult.
have been
imagine
weird.
you wanting to go skiing.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I ever went skiing, it's because it was the first time I'd ever gone to Australia, and someone just invited us to go. Like we were in Melbourne, and someone invited us to go to Mount Buller, which I guess is a couple hours drive away, to go skiing. And I was like, sure, why not? I'm on the other side of the world. I'll do opposite things than anything I've ever done before. So Jeff and I got in the car with a stranger and went skiing.
Hell yeah.
The water goes a different direction down the drain. I'm gonna go fucking skiing.
Yeah.
Did you eat shit?
Oh, constantly. I'm terrible at skiing. I can't do that at all. I ate so much snow. I gave up after a while.
There is definitely nothing very graceful about being in ski gear because you're literally, as Brian said, you have like these snow pants, jacket, like you're layered up like crazy. You probably have long underwear on. And then the worst part is the ski boots that are so bulky and like you have to essentially walk like a baby in them. And then like you get the skis on and then like now I could only be lifted up this hill and go down it. And then I immediately need to take them off to do anything.
Yeah, I need a mechanical chair to get up this mountain because it's. I feel like the little brother in A Christmas Story when I have all that stuff
Put your arms
on.
down.
I'm just exactly.
Or Maggie in her little star snowsuit.
Yeah,
from The Simpsons.
and now I'm gonna do something kind of athletic. You're like, yes, this is gonna go great.
I feel like I just missed the window on skiing. I think I'm too old to go skiing for the first time.
Hell
feel like
no.
Really? I feel like I'd just be so crap.
That's why you start on small hills.
Yeah.
With the little kids.
They color code them too. Like the greens are easy, and then blue is like medium, and if it's black, like black diamonds, you got to stay away from that. That's really hard.
Yeah, you'll go flying down those.
But it does help to start. Yeah, if you're a kid, when you're like fearless and you like don't care if you wipe out, you can just sort of, you're fine with going fast. Because when you're an adult, you're like, that's gonna at least tear an ACL.
I will say though, like going downhill while you're skiing is some of the best adrenaline you will experience in life.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yes, totally.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, maybe I'll give it a go.
Next year.
There's good skiing in America, right? What's the best place to do it?
Colorado, New Mexico, some places. Yeah, up north, I think.
I think there was someone in chat. Who was it that was commenting on us? It maybe Vermont. Who was it? Was it like what's this person's username? Vermonster802
Nice.
said listening to people in Texas talk about snow is killing me. So I'm gonna assume that they're from Vermont, so they probably have skiing up there as well.
We don't know
I'm also
anything
from
about it.
Canada. I'm not from Texas. I currently live in Texas though, so maybe that's what they're getting at.
No, if we see snow, everything's shut down. You close down school for the day.
Yeah, that's
we don't know how to act.
I think it's because I mean the roads and the cars and the systems in the city and Texas in general aren't prepared for snow.
No.
So they don't have salt trucks. They don't have like anything that would be able to give people safety in traveling to some place. So I think that's ultimately why they closed down schools and whatnot.
Back in January of '97, I was living in Houston because I was going to college down there, and they had to close downtown Houston because it had rained a lot and then immediately frozen. So all of the tall buildings in Houston were covered in ice. And then when it started defrosting, like giant chunks of ice started falling off of all the skyscrapers and smashing cars in downtown Houston.
Badass.
So like they had to close it and tell people don't go to downtown Houston because you might get killed by falling ice.
Holy
That's
shit.
terrifying.
That's hardcore.
Fucking rules. Did anybody get hurt? Do you know if there were any,
I don't
like,
remember
reports
anybody
of
getting hurt. I think they saw that this was about to happen and they were like, hey, don't anybody go down there for a day or two. It's going to be really bad.
Yeah. They're daggers falling from the sky. You might want to stay home. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking about this with, I think it was Blaine and John today. I was telling them about the snowstorm or the ice storm we had in 1997 in Ottawa and Quebec as well, where we literally had an ice storm that coated the entire city in like a 2 to 3 inch layer of ice. So like all the trees, the branches, the power lines, buildings, like everything was just ice.
So wait,
and,
it was not snow, it was ice?
Ice. Everything was just ice. It was the weirdest thing, but it made for a really fun backyard. Just slipping around there. That was insane.
Ice, yeah. I mean, snow and ice are like ice is a whole other fucking ordeal you got to deal with. It's terrible. It's the fucking worst. All right. Well, let's go ahead and I think it's about time to wrap this up. So I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll see you guys next week. I want to thank Gavin, Barbara, and Brian for all being here.
Oh, you're
Wow.
welcome, Gus. Thank
Yeah.
you for being here.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.